Good morning, friends. Welcome to Take Two for this Monday, the 8th of April, 2019. I'm Jeannie. I'm so glad to be with you on this very, very rainy day here in Southeast Alabama. Rain that we desperately needed, and it'll make our flowers grow. It'll be a good thing. So we're really, really glad that the rain decided to visit us on this day. Well, I like to talk to you a little bit about something that I watched over the weekend, and that was a movie about a group of people who travel back in time. Now, of course, we know that that's impossible. We know that there's some scientists that think there is a possibility of being able to do a thing like that, but this movie was totally and completely fictitious. It's very interesting. It's a group of people traveling, and they all of a sudden found themselves going kind of in this black hole, and they got on the other side of it. It was a tumultuous journey through this black hole. They get to the other side of it, and suddenly they've been transported back in history several decades, and they realize that they have arrived in time to the day before a very famous catastrophic event was about to take place. Now, of course, nobody else who's in that current time knows this is about to happen, but of course, all these people who've made this journey back 40-odd years, they do know that this is something that's about to happen. So now they're faced with a huge dilemma. What do? Do they try to do everything in their power to stop this catastrophe from happening because they know it is? But by doing that, would they completely disrupt the future of the world? Or do they just let the historical events that are documented to all of us now in this day and age, let them back then take their course and go on and just let history be history? You know, it's very interesting because a lot of times in our lives, we dream about the fact that maybe if we could go back in time, we would do things differently. Why do you think people might want to travel back in time? Could you imagine all of a sudden having a car and you're driving along and then and some big black hole swallows you up and suddenly you're 100 years in the past? Oh my goodness. Or actually in Back to the Future, that's what happened. They went and suddenly it was like 30 years earlier, and the character in it, McFly, he has to decide if he's going to, what he needs to do to try to have certain things fall into motion so that it doesn't disrupt the future. How about if you were riding along in a ship somewhere in the ocean, and then boom, all of a sudden you were in another place and it was 50 years in the future or 50 years in the past? What would you do if you could travel back in time? You know, I would think that people want to travel back in time in their fantasies so that they could change things and make life easier for themselves for the future. Maybe they have selfish motives. Maybe they say, I know that this person's going to win this big athletic event, so I'll bet big on it because I know I'll win a lot of money. Or this horse is going to win a race. Or this event is going to happen. Stocks. I'll go back in history and find out what stocks are going to hit big, and I'll invest in those. And that would be for selfish reasons. But a lot of times I think it's something as simple as, if I could go back in time and do something to keep my parent from dying, or to keep that accident from happening, or if I could do something, I would try to do that. But you know, the truth of the matter is, boys and girls, time is time. We can't do anything about it. We can't change anything about it. If that's what was supposed to happen in that period of time in history, that's what's going to happen. Now, I'm going to bring a little bit of balance to this, boys and girls. Now, listen to me carefully. There are things you can do to alter your future, okay? one thing is if you become a very heavy smoker and you smoke 100 cigarettes a day for 40 years, and inevitably that puts you in a much higher risk for having lung cancer or heart disease, that's something that you could say in your younger years. You know what? I'm not going to smoke, and that's going to help me have a healthier and happier life. So something like that you can do, but the truth of the matter is that you can't stop if a meteor is going to come out of outer space and smash your house. You can't do anything about that. If that's what's going to happen, you know, now, of course, with technology, we can detect things better. We can detect earthquakes sometimes and detect big storms, so we could prepare. Preparedness is important. Again, I'm bringing balance to this. It's very important that we have preparedness for things, insurance and so on and so forth, and of course taking care of our own personal needs. But did you ever stop and think what it would be like if suddenly you could get in an airplane and, oh my goodness, you're traveling along and you're going along and you're in this airplane, and then you're going and you're going and you're going and you're going, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in another time in history? That would be pretty remarkable, wouldn't it? But we can't. So this is what I encourage you today, boys and girls, is this. Remember the past for what it was. Use your past experiences to shape your future. Don't dwell back there with all the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Don't do that. You drive yourself crazy. Let me tell you, me personally, I'm going to be gut bucket honest with you, boys and girls. I try to do that. I try to be honest with you. I have rolled and rolled and rolled around in my mind many occasions. If only I had done this, this would have worked this way. If only I had done such and such. If only I'd have been better at doing this, or if I could have changed that, or if I'd have made that phone call. You'll drive yourself nuts if you do that. Now, if you have made bad mistakes and bad choices which have resulted in bad consequences, the only thing you could do from this point forward is to move forward. Don't stay back there. Don't go back there. Keep going forward, because there's nothing you could do to change time, okay? Hey, go be a blessing to somebody today. You know, you might end up being the only one who is. Now, that's something you can change. If in the past you weren't a blessing to somebody, today's the day that you start being that blessing, okay? And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already by going to Jeanne Sigler, JeanneSigler, and hitting that subscribe button. Hit that little bell. You'll get notified when another Take Two posts. And of course, for great music, great programming, great everything, Lunch Break with Big Tom and Jeanne at 11 o'clock today, live from WRMZ studios. That's Central Time, of course. Don't forget to tune in to WRMZ.org. Okay, I love you all very much. Hey, listen, if in the past you've never listened to Ram FM and you've never made a donation to Ram FM, what better a time to do that than right now? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. You be blessed. Look to the future, boys and girls, because we're going to soar off to the future together, because that's the way to go. I love ya. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.